So we have a question, the Conroe Corporation question is dealing with detachable stock warrants, and specifically what's important here is how to allocate proceeds when we have a combined sale. So for this, the corporation issued bonds that carried warrants. So it's like being sold, acquiring a bond, and the bond has an attached warrant. The warrant can be detached from the bond and sold separately. What is key, you can look in the textbook for another example, but here is a summary of how we approach this. So we get the proceeds that we receive, and we allocate it to the two items, which in this case we have a bond and we have detachable warrants. We are going to allocate those proceeds based on the relative market value of these two. So we'll figure out the market value of the warrants, figure out the market value of the bonds, and we'll allocate those proceeds that we're getting to the two based on the weight of the market values. And then we'll post the journal entry as required. So for the value of the warrants, the value that we're going to assign to warrants, value assigned to warrants, we're going to put the market value of the warrants first. So how many warrants do we have? So we have Conroe Corporation issued 500,000 bonds, and each bond, each $1,000 bond, so if we have a $1,000 bond, so divide by 1,000, we have 500 of these bonds. So each of these bonds, one of them is $1,000 a piece, but there are 500 of them. One of the bonds is carrying 20 warrants. So each of them has 20 warrants, and each warrant is selling for $4 immediately after the issuance. And the bonds, once we detach the warrant from the bonds are selling at $102 and the warrants are selling at $4 each. So we're going to figure out the market value of the bonds and the market value of the warrants in this order. So let's start with the bonds first. The value to assign to bonds will be the market value of the bonds. So remember, we have 500 bonds. So we have 500 of them, and each bond is trading at 102. If it's trading at 102 and the face value is 1,000, that makes it 1020. So the market value of each bond is $1,020. So total market value for the bonds is 500 of them at $1,020 a piece. The total market value will be the one for the bonds, so that part is for the bonds. So let's repeat this down here. So 500 times 1020, so that's the market value of the bonds, and let's add the market value of the warrants. So we have the number of warrants is 500 times 20. Why? Because we had this many of bonds, and each $1,000 bond, that makes it 500 of them, is carrying 20 warrants. So total warrants is 20 times 500, and each of them is worth $4. So for the denominator, we put the total market value, so the market value of the bonds and the market value of the warrants in our denominator. In our numerator, when we are assigning the value of bonds, we put the value of the bonds there. If we were assigning in the next one, we'll put the one for warrants. So we'll calculate this and multiply it by the proceeds that we're getting. How much are we getting from this sale? So when we sold this, we got 107, meaning we got 107%. So we sold 500,000 times 107%. So that will give us 535,000. So to get the proceeds that we assign to bonds, we are going to multiply this with 535,000. That will equal 496 cents and 91 cents. Let's proceed and do the part that's allocated to warrants. The part that's allocated to warrants, similarly, we do the same approach. So value assigned to warrants. So value assigned to warrants, we put the market value of the warrants on the denominator, on the numerator rather. So we put this on top. 500 times 20 times 4 divide by the total market value. So we repeat what we have for the bottom number, 500 times 1020 plus 500 times 20 times 4. And we multiply that by the proceeds of 535,000. That will equal 38,909. Notice that if we add these two together, we get our original number or our original figure here. So these two together is equal to 535,000. Now, what's the value of one warrant, given that the total value we assigned to warrants is 38,909? The value per warrant is equal to 38,909. So we're going to do 38,909, divide that by the number of warrants, which is 500 times 20. So when we divide that, we're going to get $3.89 for each warrant. Now we can record our issuance as well as we can do part 2. So for the part 1, when we have our issuance, we have cash inflow of 535,000. So we have cash 535,000. We also have for the bonds, so this was the price and the face value of the bonds is 500,000. So the difference, 909 is our discount on bond payable. So discount on bond payable is $3,909. Bond payable, as expected, we put it on we put the face value of it, so 500,000 on there, and then we have common stock warrants. So common stock warrants for the 38,909. So 38,909, and put a description of the journal entry that's to record the issuance of bonds with attached warrants and include the details in that description. When we exercise, so for the second part, when we exercise 4,000 warrants, we will receive cash. So the journal entry for that, we're going to receive cash equal to 4,000 times the exercise price. So we'll receive cash of 20, multiply that by 400. So our total cash received will be 80,000. We'll need to remove the value of the warrants exercised from this bucket here, which is in our common equity section. So we'll debit common stock warrants, and the debit is for each of those warrants is 389. So 4,000, is it 4,000 or 400? 4,000 of them times 389. So that gives us a figure of $15,560. With that, we now have common stock since they've been exercised. So the people exercised it by buying common stock from our company, and that's why they gave us the cash. So we have common stock, and we record common stock in such a manner that we put the par value by itself and any excess into additional paid-in capital. So common stock, for this, we have each of them is $10 times 4,000. So on the common stock section, we now have 40,000 for the par value, and for the rest, the balance of this, we put it into additional paid-in capital on common stock. So, and that's for, we had these two and subtract 40, whatever is left goes into additional paid-in capital. So $55,560. So that again, just a reiteration on this. If we sell bonds as part of a combo, we'll allocate the proceeds, the money we get. So whatever we sold it for, we're going to allocate based on the relative market value. So the market value of the bonds divided by the total market value, multiply that by the proceeds, and we do that again for the warrants. Total market value of warrants divided by the market value of the bonds plus the market value of the warrants times the money that we got, or the proceeds, and that's how we got the 38,909. If we want the value for one warrant, we take the total divided by the number of warrants. So this concludes this question.